Let's see. It's starting. Seems to be working. Sound seems to be working. Come on, you can do it. It's taking a long time to load on YouTube. Hope the others are doing better. Come on, am I live or aren't I? Yay, finally! Eureka, it is live. We are live. Okay, seems to be working. Guess we can start coloring. So I am coloring page 95 from our comic book, Niels Feynman's Time Traveling Adventures, and it's going to be the last page for this year. So yay, last one of the year. uh, Coloring. Okay. So yeah, we've reached our goal on Tapastic. A lot of you guys have tipped us, and thank you for that. So we're going to release on Tapastic for everyone Patreon exclusive content, stuff that has only been posted on Patreon until now. What else I had to tell you news? Yeah, so on in January we'll resume publishing new pages, new story pages, and we're gonna soon reach 100 pages for Niels. So kind of thinking what event I should do. I'm not sure. If you guys have any suggestions, you can send me a message, or in the Facebook group, or in the Discord group, or in many groups we get together in. Not everybody's using the same platforms. I think it would be nice if we can gather all in one place, just so I don't miss any of your messages. Not sure. Whatever is easier for you guys. I try and keep up with all the platforms. If you see that I haven't replied to something or haven't seen it, don't worry, you can always repeat what your request is. I don't mind. It's actually good that it reminds me. So if it was something that you guys wanted, feel free to repeat it. I might also, of course, sometimes forget something. I don't mean to, but it can happen. So don't worry about repeating and reminding me. So here Erwin previously insulted Shakespeare, so he's gonna get his butt kicked by the fangirl Marie. I gotta turn off the frame. There we go. So yeah, kids, be careful when you upset a fan of anything like in Star Wars or stuff like that. Some people are very touchy. And I'm gonna turn off Niels as well so I can color her tail well. No, actually, little toe here. Uh, Something like that. Sorry if you hear some noise in the background. It's the American ventilation heating system. It's bizarre. Um, they heat their houses here with air, and it just makes a whole bunch of noise, and it's very annoying at night because I have the ventilation outlet like right above my head, and in the middle of the night is gonna blow hot air in my face and wake me up, and also dry out my face and eyes and ears, and not ears, I wanted to say mouth, nose. It's terrible. I will not miss this. uh, we are hoping to move back to Europe. I'm curious what other weird inconveniences are in other countries. Uh, Please, if you have any fun stories to share with us or things that you find interesting, please do so in the comments below. If you are watching this after the stream. Oh, hi, Kirani. Can you hear me? Hope you can hear me okay. Hi, June. Yeah, you can hear me good. Awesome. Erwin is in big trouble today. Oh, hi, Hi there. How you're doing the exam? How's it going? Yeah. Oh, thanks for coming, guys. Hope you're enjoying this illustration. So Marie here is trying to hide what's going on. Clandestine. Oh, poor students. Like Antipastic as well, a lot of the artists there were complaining about the exams they have and not being able to finish their comic books. Like one of them um, was in some kind of engineering school or something, but he was doing comic books. I was like, what? How does that apply to the job you're looking for? Also, he probably doesn't have sound. My sister has a bunch of exams as well. I'm the only one that doesn't have to go to school. Take care, Kairani. Like, there's a little hole in here? Like, why? Strange how it got selected. And his punts. Yeah, you guys came just in time. The ventilation just stopped. It was doing a lot of noise. I remember last time you fought it was raining where I was, but no, it was the ventilation. I'm hoping this vacation I have time to arrange my desk a bit more. I made a desk where I draw traditional watercolor stuff, and some of you have seen my watercolor illustrations of planets and stuff like that, and have asked for tutorials, and just wanted to let you know I am kind of working on that. I don't know with what I will be able to record it. Um, Maybe I'll do it with my tablet. Not sure yet how I'm gonna do that. Oops, I colored it. Shouldn't have. Oh, hi. How are you? T oops, O N con. Can you hear me? Actors. I'm gonna have to rename this layer. Actors color. Let's see what color I had them previously. I'll do pink for her and gray for him. But great work, June, on Marie's face, like the desperation in her eyes. Yes, I can hear you clearly. Oh, still have to finish your work. Oh, awesome. I look forward to seeing more of your illustrations. They're very nice. So sorry it's so late for you. I'm trying to find like a good hour for everybody, but it's impossible. Sadly, the earth is not flat and everybody has their own time zones. Do you ever stream your work? I've looked around on your YouTube. I didn't see anything, so I'm just asking to make sure I didn't miss anything. So Tikon Icon, he's also on Tapastic and on Facebook, and you can see his art there. I never live stream on YouTube. Yeah, it can be a bit daunting for sure. I do it just so I force myself to stay on schedule with the comic, and also it gives me a chance to kind of talk to the fans, share some tips and tricks about how to uh, paint in digital. Okay, June, take care. Thanks for coming by. Um, Although it's 1:30 for me, so I'm gonna be streaming for an hour, I think, until I finish everything. This is gonna be my last stream for this year. And that's how I started doing the tutorial series. Some of you have asked me to do that, and I got about through half of the tutorials on the list that I intended to do, so many more coming next year. Sorry I wasn't able to do more. It's just very time consuming with everything. I wish I could have done like better quality tutorials to have like a nice intro, outro to be edited, but it takes a long time to do all of that. Maybe someday when I also have better equipment, I can do maybe some better tutorials. Right now, I'm running out of space on my hard drive, so I can't really do any more new tutorials or videos that are pretty big in file. And once you want to edit the video, the program that I'm using creates a lot of files and it gets pretty big, the project. Like even something for 5 minutes can end up being a couple of giga of file size. So I've kind of been just trying to make it directly out of OBS and not edit it at all. Just hit record, do the video, and then hit stop, and then that's how I end up with maximum uh, a couple of hundred mega files, like 700 mega for 10 minutes or something like that. And that's a lot easier for me to store it and have room on my hard drive for it. Because otherwise I would have to, make the video, put it on YouTube, and then just erase it and not have a copy anymore. Or I just keep just the raw material, which really isn't that useful. I prefer the final video, but then if I want to edit something, yeah, I can't choose which one to keep, so. I kind of decided to do it like that, and um, if I ever have the possibility and the, I don't know, incentive, we'll do maybe better tutorials that look more professional rather than something that someone put together. Although YouTube, is very forgiving about that, though I am always very happy when I find a channel that has like really good quality stuff. And I know that takes a lot of time and effort. So that's why I'm kind of not really looking forward to it. But yeah, traditional watercolor product reviews of stuff. Mostly I do traditional art as a bit of a hobby, not really my main stuff. Good for me. I'm glad that it's usable, it's good enough. Like that was kind of what I was aiming to be good enough that it gets the job done. But yeah. And there's so many video tutorials out there. Often I don't feel that I have anything to add in terms of the watercolor options. You have some really great artists that are putting out great videos, and generally I share those, but often it's very advanced techniques and really expensive stuff, which most people just can't afford, and they just look at it and never actually do anything in that regard. So if I ever do the traditional watercolor tutorials, I'm gonna go for the cheapest stuff that you can find, and of course it's not gonna be as good and you're not gonna get the same great results, but um, at least it's something that more people can do, and it's kind of more of an entry level. I don't see that many watercolor videos for so low end products. And it's probably why, I mean, even if there are these channels somewhere out there, I think they never get enough views to show up in people's feeds. Because, for example, if you search for Clip Studio Paint tutorials, you're gonna get more advanced techniques usually, and with art that looks a lot better. And often it's gonna be in Japanese. Like recently I think they've started hiring people to do Clip Studio Paint tutorials in English. Like it's really picked up in the last few months, as far as I can tell. And also I'm getting more and more in my feed, because it seems to me like the algorithm takes a while before it gives you the right results. Because I had been searching for Clip Studio Paint tutorials in English for a long time that are for beginners, and I just couldn't find them. And that's why I kind of started to make my own, because other people were having the same problems as me. They were searching for Clip Studio Paint tutorials and they were getting the Japanese ones in the search feed, which wasn't very helpful. Because they had no captions. And I think also it kind of picks up, and Japanese people that speak English start doing captions for other people. Like, for example, there's a Japanese painter that I follow. He's like the Bob Ross of Japan, but in watercolor instead of oil. Um, and a lot of his videos didn't have subtitles, or they got subtitles later. And seeing more and more of them getting it, and people in the comments complaining, I want subtitles for this. Stage, I'm gonna color it. What color was the stage? I thought there is a lot of well, there are, but a lot of them were in Japanese, and kind of it's been later that people started doing in English as well, and I was kind of late to the party, but since people asked me to do the tutorials, I thought, okay, I'll do it. There have been some updates and new releases for the European market recently, so I think that kind of spurred on all of the tutorials. Because there were some things that you just didn't have uh, on the Western market for whatever reason. Maybe they were testing it more before they released it to the Western audience, because maybe it was easier for them to get feedback on their stuff from the Japanese audience. Like, a lot of Japanese don't seem to speak English, so maybe it was easier for them to communicate and fix whatever issues were before they released it to the international market. Also, I haven't seen tutorials as basic as mine, like how to select, how to copy paste. Like, nobody really does this, and I can definitely understand why. I mean, most people that pick up Clip Studio Paint is not gonna be the first program that they use to draw. Clip Studio Paint is pretty professional, so it's they don't need to be told how to select and copy paste. But the people that I have talk to me about what they want for tutorials, um, it can be the first program that they ever use to draw anything. They saw me use Clip Studio Paint and they decided I'm gonna start with this one. So, and like, I have gotten requests to do simple stuff like, what was it? Oh, how to resize a canvas. Because they wanted to do comic books as well and put them onto Pastic, and then when they try to put it onto Pastic, it didn't fit. Because they didn't know how to resize the canvas in order to fit onto Pastic. So I decided, if I'm gonna do tutorials, I'm gonna do the really basic, simple ones for super newbie entry level. Because otherwise, there are plenty of Clip Studio Paint tutorials now. Where is that hole coming from? Oh, it's the floor. The background page. Sorry. No, where is that? People color. Then on which layer is the blue thing? I colored it by accident. Oh, with the skin color, yeah. I sometimes do that on the wrong layer. Often on the wrong layer. Like, if it's any mistake that I do every time, without exception, is color on the wrong layer. I never try Clip Studio Paint, by the way. It's more like Photoshop or Sci. Yeah, a lot of people say they prefer Sci to Clip Studio Paint. I've tried Sci and I think it's not good, and it doesn't have enough features for what I'm interested in. But it has a lot of it has less buttons, and I think it's less confusing for beginner digital artists. Mm, Not sure what color to make that guy. I'll start with the hair. Photoshop was definitely not good enough when it came to comic book making. The vector line art in Clip Studio Paint is just such a good feature. I was like shocked. No text tool, shape, etc. Mighty stabilizer tool. Yeah, and it's free. Like, I would say that Paint Tool size best quality is that it is free. Because you have stabilizer in Clip Studio Paint as well. And it's actually very good because you can adjust it. Let me show you here. So here I have stabilization at level 6, and I can make it as much as I want. But like I said, vector line art I haven't seen in any other program that is as good as Clip Studio Paint. And I've tried a bunch of programs, but um, so far Clip Studio Paint is the best one, and it has a great customer support. One thing that annoyed me with um, Paintstorm was just hard to discuss and find stuff, and just the community is not big enough for Clip Studio or for Paintstorm to kind of fuel itself and um, deal with any issues that there are there. Clip Studio Paint has a huge community, as does Photoshop, so um, usually whatever issues are, they get fixed quickly. Um, if the developers want to be nice and help you out and make your life easier. I wouldn't say that for Photoshop it's all the issues are equally important. I think they kind of give priority to the businesses and fixing whatever the problems they have. Because they don't get as much money from, individual indie artists that may want some button somewhere. And what I would say that Photoshop definitely has over other um, programs, it's program pack. Like you have a lot of stuff in Adobe program list that they offer so many things, and they're pretty well integrated. Like you can draw something in Illustrator or Photoshop and then um, take it into After Effects and animate it there, and then you take that whole thing into Premiere to make the animation, the cuts. And let's say you need to change the hat color of a character, and you can just go back into Photoshop, change the color, and then the final product, they're all linked together, and then you can have that change transfer up the chain, and you don't need to redo everything, and it's a really big time saver. And also they're integrated with other programs that are affiliated with Photoshop. So you have stuff like Shotgun that I worked with at the company where I was, and we had to um, edit some animations and integrate it for uh, a video game. So you had webisodes, which apparently is turning website episode. Sorry, turning TV episodes like Dora the Explorer and so on um, into interactable episodes. So you can stop and do something within that episode. So you saw an episode on TV with Dora the Explorer doing something, and then uh, you can collect, I don't know, seashells or do something, or learn how to count, or learn how to speak Spanish and stuff like that. So that was really awesome. I really enjoyed doing that. I think it was fun. The bureaucracy of it wasn't that much fun, and the business side of it, but it was a great idea and was fun. Really? Is it that brown color? Guess so. And like I said, you can make a change like that, and it goes up the chain. And of course, you need pretty powerful computing power for that. I never did that in my private work because I just don't have the equipment for that. But if you do, it does make your life a lot easier. And I don't know of any other company that offers such great integration for everything. So this is from A Midsummer Night's Dream, one of Shakespeare's plays. Um, and at this point in the story, like Erwin said before, Shakespeare had been dead for 70 years, so this is probably not gonna be a very accurate remake of Shakespeare's play. We have so many versions of Sherlock Holmes that a lot of them depart quite a lot from the original Sherlock Holmes. I haven't seen that many versions of Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie's detective story. And to be honest, I like Hercule Poirot a lot more. But I think that's just because they did such a great job with David Suchet as Hercule Poirot. And I think it's really hard to make another one. They did do a series of plays. Um, I think towards the end of her life, she was pretty old at the time when they started doing the plays. And there hasn't been that much retelling of it, which I'm kind of sad because there's so many great stories. You usually have the Death on the Orient Express that keeps getting made and remade, but not with the frequency of Sherlock Holmes. And I don't think if you ask anybody to name a vintage detective, if anybody can name Hercule Poirot, they're probably gonna know um, uh, Sherlock Holmes, but Hercule Poirot not so much. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and um, I hadn't even seen any Sherlock Holmes, but I knew the name. And when my dad told me about um, Hercule Poirot, I was like, who? Who's that? Never heard of that. So I think maybe once people get tired of Sherlock Holmes, although I don't think they will, it's kind of become a bit of a joke now. You need a detective, you call on Hercule Poirot, like, on Sherlock Holmes. It's kind of like a Ghostbusters issue. Have a ghost, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. You have a murder in an expensive castle, who you gonna call? Sherlock Holmes. Doesn't have the same ring to it though. I think people don't like Hercule Poirot as much as Sherlock Holmes because he's pompous and he doesn't do drugs. Sherlock Holmes was more of a man of the people. He did drugs, he fought in the streets, and was less of a gentleman. So I think it makes him more relatable. It's very hard to play, I think, Hercule Poirot. It's such a fine line between being um, adorable and being really annoying. And I think it just takes a very good actor not to cross that line. So I think that might be the issue. It's hard to find an actor to play that. Yeah, he got punched. Marie got really upset that he insulted Shakespeare and called him trash, and like, you do not want to upset the fans. Like, I don't know if you've seen Star Wars fans that are really crazy, and if you say anything bad about Star Wars, they might tear you a new one, as the saying goes. So yeah, Marie is a hardcore fangirl of Shakespeare. Yeah, well, he kind of asked for it. You do not mess with crazy fans. Like, they will rip you limb from limb. I don't know if you watch anything with Game of Thrones, but um, Game of Thrones and Harry Potter has some pretty bizarre fans. Um, with Potterheads, like, they're more defensive of J.K. Rowling. Like, if you say anything bad about J.K., the Potterheads will find you and end you. Um, but with Game of Thrones, the fans are like pretty creepy. George R. R. Martin got a copy of. I forgot the name of the book. I think it's called Misery. No, let me check. Stephen King, crazy fan book. I think it's Misery, Misery novel. Yeah, the book is called Misery, um, and it's about a crazy fan that captures what's it called, the author, and just tortures him in order to finish um, the series. And what has happened um, was that George R. R. Martin, he's supposed to release a new book, Winds of Winter, and he hasn't yet. So one of his fans sent him a copy of this book, Misery. And that was scary because he sent him like this really big book, a big box, and inside the box was just one copy of Misery. It was like kind of a not so veiled threat. Like, if you don't finish Winds of Winter, I'm gonna be a sad fan. And I mean, if that doesn't scare you as an author, I don't know what will. And again, he kind of got freaked out about that. George R. R. Martin and Stephen King are of the same age, just that Stephen King got famous a lot earlier than George R. R. Martin. So he's a bit of a noob to the crazy world compared to Stephen King. Though he's been book famous, I think since the early 2000s. So it's been 20 years of fame. He's not that new anymore. He knows to avoid the internet. He doesn't read what's going on. Definitely avoids reading reviews of his books. And he has pretty aggressive and rude fans. Like, I'm sorry for him. Oops, wrong layer as usual. Let's see, 92. Building. Kind of trying to keep the same colors. I would definitely love to spend more time on doing better shading. Like, that is a goal I have for book 2. Remains to be seen if I can do that. I'm thinking for book 2 to hire additional help uh, for oops, okay, I want to turn off the frames. Yeah, to hire additional help for drawing the backgrounds. So that should improve how the comic looks. I got a lot of plans and no money, so we'll see how that goes. I have submitted the comic to a bunch of publishers and a lot of them liked it, but I think it's time to wrap my work and go to sleep. Good luck with your work and goodbye. Thank you. Thank you and have a good night. Thanks for coming. Oh, I just spelled that completely wrong. Let's see, page 22. Not 22. Mixed up the numbers. Some salad greens. think I should have done this on a separate layer. I think it would be best. Selection. Stand. Control V. I do not have to press shift like in Photoshop. It'll paste it in the same place. Vegetable stand. And this would probably be as you're going that way, it's gonna be blue. Do the ears later. kind of been doing the same thing over and over again. I'm gonna look for some inspiration. Um, so there was a lot of white, I guess. Blue. Actually, the line art. Maybe I should change it. Although I had this, like, this is more for younger women that are unmarried. This is more for an older woman. Okay, so cream. Something like that. I'll leave it like it was. Although this is, I think, more American because it has kind of some Dutch influences. Put a dark brown base. It'll be easier for me to, if I have any leakage from the colors. Give him more of a tan. Make her a bit more whiter because she's a fairy princess. She's sparkly magical. I think it was blue. Princess Bubblegum. Yep, it's blue. Probably have to change, I think, the hair a bit. It doesn't look as much as Bojack's. Yep, it's a bit more wavy. It has a pink snout with white. And then he has a diamond on his head. Kinda not clear on how the nose thing goes, but something like that. Such a terrible character. But yeah, I'm gonna have to change the hair. Turn off the characters there. Okay. Gonna put these on a separate layer. I think I'll just make my life easier. Bench color. Name this paving. Okay. Actually, I think it's the same line art. I can just use that one, save myself some trouble. So yeah, I think I am done for now. Thank you all for watching. This was the last stream of the year. I might put out a Stardew Valley video before Christmas. At least that is the plan. If all the mods work well, I will post it. And as usual, if you have any questions or suggestions, you know where to find me, and you can always leave it. You can leave your comment down below. So yeah, see you guys next year. Thank you for watching. Bye bye, everyone.